English structure. We have chosen to work with irregular verbs in past tense. In contrast with most past tense verbs in English which ends with ed, the irregular verbs don't follow this rule. There are in fact no rules which indicate how someone can form irregular verbs in past tense, and therefore these verbs must be learned in the same way as we learn new words. Because of that, we think it is important to start with irregular verbs in early years. Context. In the preparation of this classroom activity, the teacher has interacted with the class describing an ordinary week in the pupil's life. The teacher has guided the pupils in using the verbs while the class chose and picked the most interesting topics of a week. The class agreed on 5 topics. Eurovision Song Contest and food is 2 of them. The children and the teacher have previously created their own personal book of last week. This book describes what the children have done last week using, in this case, 5 particular irregular verbs that the teacher chose to match the topics. For example, eat, see, and win. The class repeated the verbs out loud both before and after the teacher explained what the verbs mean in Swedish.
This lesson is appropriate for 9 to 10 years old children who are in the third grade, considering that the children had used their writing skills when they created their books. We divided the class into 2 groups, approximately 12 pupils each. Aims and how to evaluate them. We expect that through this lesson, the pupils will exercise speaking and interacting by using mingling activity rather than speaking in the whole class. We hope that the mingling activity will make children feel more comfortable with the English language and the use of irregular verbs in past tense. This will help them describe everyday situations in connection to the teacher's book. To evaluate this lesson, we will use the most effective method according to Kivney and Lumbury, namely observation, which is considered the most important during the mingling activity. In order for the evaluation of the activity to be more valid, it would be advantageous if 2 adults observe the children. Procedures. We start the lesson with circle time, sitting together on the floor. The teacher reads aloud about one of the topics from the teacher's book and then give one of the children a pretend microphone. The child will enter the role of a journalist asking questions. For example, what they ate last week.
The microphone fills a playful function for the children to get used to the idea of recording their own voices further on. It also gives the group structure because it is a symbol of who is having the right to speak. Taking turns, one at a time, the pupils share with the rest of the group something tasty they ate last week, with the purpose of practicing the irregular verb eat in past tense. Next, the teacher continues with the next topic from the book, for example, who won the Eurovision Song Contest, focusing on the verb win. This gives the children a lot of opportunities to use both speaking and listening skills. This will take approximately 20 minutes. After the circle time activity, the children will mingle around in the classroom. They are going to ask each other questions about the 5 topics in their books, and they can use their books for support if needed when they answer each other's questions. In this activity, they are going to practice asking questions as well as answering in the past tense. This mingle activity will take approximately 10 minutes. Material for this activity will be the teacher's book, made by the teacher, and the children's own book of last week, and of course, the pretend toy microphone.
What might go wrong and how to solve it? Anticipated problems. One problem can be that the children get overexcited and start to talk about other subjects in Swedish during the circle time. The solution of this can be allowing a free discussion in English, as the speaking is the focus of this activity. However, the teacher still needs to handle and guide the discussion, being prepared with leading questions such as, I don't understand, because you speak Swedish. Do you mean you ate pizza last week? Another problem could be that the children are afraid to speak English during the mingle activity. A playful solution of this can be a version of a role-playing mingle, where one of the pupils is a reporter, given a pretend microphone, and the other is acting a contestant from the Eurovision Song Contest. This will hopefully help the children who are shy to overcome their discomfort by hiding behind a character.
Conclusion. The children can feel that they are familiar with the topics and might be motivated to speak about it, as it was the most fun topics chosen by the class itself, and that they can easily connect and refer to their everyday lives. According to Sandström, it is important for the children's vocabulary retention to let them influence on the classroom activities. Hopefully, this type of English interacting in the classroom will create a warm and welcoming atmosphere where the children feel free to express themselves without feeling embarrassed. The children should be glad to share their stories using the English language.